Duncan here, head pro at Burford Golf Club, and welcome back. This is video 4. We've been covering the basic chip shot so far, and today the intention is just to further what we've done. We've looked at alignment, ball to target line, feet at 11. We've then talked about our feet being 90 degrees to 11, ball position at the back of our stance, and yesterday we covered weight into our left shoulder. We also discussed the leading edge of the club and the fact that we want 90 degrees from the leading edge towards the target line. So before we move on to the next part of our session, a few things to discuss, which would be the subscribers. The first goal was to get to 100. Now 200 is the goal. We're on 160, so it's going really well. And when we get to 200 subscribers, we'll be doing a free prize draw. If you just email through your name and ideally a question of some sort, and then you'll be put into the free prize draw, which we will be doing if we get to 200. We've had lots of different questions that have come through, and very much appreciate those. Thank you. So here's today's question of the day. Time for celebration. So the question is, how often would you recommend re-gripping your golf clubs and why? That email's come from Mitch, Arthur Mitchell. Thanks for that, Mitch. Firstly, before you actually go ahead and have your clubs re-gripped, you want to see if you can get a bit more life out of them. So I recommend hot soapy water, usually get some fairy liquid, run a bead of it down the grip, some hot soapy water with a brush, and just work that into the grip and then clean it off. Dry it well with a towel and just see how tacky they are. It usually gets them in a much better condition then, and you might get a few extra months out of them before you actually go ahead and buy them. So when they have gone past their use by date, which is usually around 18 months to 2 years, that might sound like a short time, but it does depend how much golf you're playing. If you're playing 3 or 4 times a week, then I would say that's a good kind of time to get them done. There's quite a large choice out there on the market for grips, and they start probably as cheap as £5 fitted, but they do go up to £15. I would say though that you do pay for what you get with golf grips, but you can get a good middle of the range grip like a Lambkin or a Golf Pride Tour Velvet, which are really good grips, and they're below the £10 mark, including fitting. So my multi-compound, which I use, has a cord in the top, which again just adds to traction. With the glove, you know, it's really quite secure in my hand, and it's so important that you've got that security with your grip, because it's the only part of you touching the golf club, and you want to make sure that your grip pressure is not too high. If the grip's not secure enough, in as much as it's lost its tack, then you're going to have to grip it tighter. The movement and the speeds that you're going to be generating, then you want to have a good security between your hands and the club. So traction's very important, so it's really important to make sure you keep your grips tacky by cleaning them, but also to make sure that they're in good condition as well. So I thought, might as well do a video of us washing a grip as well while we're at it. Hot soapy water, fairy liquid, put a bit in there, but we're going to run a bead of it down the grip, like so. Then get your scrubbing brush and just work the grip around. Make sure you get permission before you do this at home. And we want the water to be dabbing back onto the actual grip whilst you're doing it, just to kind of eventually start moving away the suds. Massive science involved in this. So now we need to dry it, get permission and a nice towel, and then just rub the towel onto the grip. And ideally the towel has got a bit of fluff in it, and what will happen is that fluff will start to go into the grip. And you can just see it just here, just starting to activate the cord that's in the multi-compound. And you can hear that stickiness there, and that is one nice clean grip, and I'll get a good few months more out of this. So it's really important trying to get that balance where you're getting the traction, your grip pressure's not too high, but at the same time you want to try and get them to last as long as you can. Thanks for your question, Mitch. I hope that answers everything you wanted, and I look forward to the next questions tomorrow. So on to today's lesson, and we're just furthering on from what we've done in the last 3 sessions. And it's mainly going to be about the backswing today. So we're going to be discussing how the club is taken back. Once we've got into our position and we've got our weight into our left shoulder, we want to try and see, and again this is mirror work, we want to try and see that left arm in one line with the club. We don't want to see the hands behind. That's going to potentially encourage hinge. We want to try and see that the back of the left hand is pointing to the target and that left arm is in one line. We're then going to get hold of the club, and that's our position at address. So we want to try and avoid the hinge, because once we hinge on the way back, naturally the hands will want to hinge on the way through, and that can lead to thins. So what we want to try and do is maintain this left arm, create structure on the way back. It will feel quite resisted, it won't be a very long backswing, but that's pretty much how far we want to be taking it back. So if we observe my left shoulder now whilst I'm taking the club back, the weight remains in my left shoulder. What we don't want to do is create a movement away from the target or coming off the ball. We don't want to create that, because now all of a sudden we're pushing our impact area behind the ball. So we want to try and maintain our weight in that left side whilst we're taking the club away from the ball. So finally is the takeaway. We've discussed that the left arm is going to stay in one line with the golf club, and what we want to try and do is try and get the golf club working back along the target line, as opposed to potentially on the inside or away outside the line. Okay, thanks for watching today. We're going to be looking at the follow through and impact factors tomorrow. Obviously, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Keep sharing these videos, and hopefully we're going to reach out to the golfing community and just keep a little bit of positivity in these difficult times.